Here's our part two, a little advanced thing on Minefield. We're going to summarize it real quick, but we're also going to show you about how it's the key to why people have such unique lives. Everybody's got a unique life and a unique story, but then also how successful business people build their businesses, or people who run volunteer agencies or churches or things like that, how they go from level to level of growth, and then why some people don't. So let's take a look at it. Let's do a quick 1-minute review of this thing. And what we've talked about is the fact that life is an obstacle course. An obstacle course that's going to challenge you, but not necessarily defeat you if you take it step by step. Find a leader to follow. See, this is why you've got to find people who know, who have done something. Not they have a theory about how to get across here. You've got to find somebody who knows what they're talking about because they've been there, who knows the way. And see, all success in life comes from going through everything you do in life is going to be getting across minefields. So this is something you're going to be doing all your life, and you can do is successfully. See, all your life is going to be successfully going through and doing things you've never been before. You have kids, you know, if you get married, you've never been married before. If you bought a house, you don't know how to do all that. If you don't have kids, you don't know how to do that. Start a new job, you've never been in that job before. So all of life is successfully navigating these things, and you can do it. You can win. If you get yourself an expert, like a leader to follow, they can save you a lot of time, but then what you're going to do at some point, you're going to have to get some tools, some methods, and if you're going to do something new to yourself where you can go it alone, the last steps yourself. And once you have the best tools, the experts have got you as far as they can get you, got the fundamentals, then you're in a position to successfully navigate the last thing. So, and the great thing about it is the lesson is once you get through, lesson to know about, once you get through, you can guide other people through. You can bring a team, you can bring a family, you can bring friends. Once one person goes through, you can bring armies through because the way has been established. That's why you want to market. And you can move, once you move through this field, you know, you start here and you get yourself through this field, now you can move on to whatever the next battlefield is and start pioneering the way. So as your troops, your people are coming behind you that you're training up here, you can be pioneering the way for the next step. And that's how the leader stays in front and guides their team. So those are things that gives you an insight to how you can attack things in life successfully that you don't know how to do. And you can move from one level, you can go from one to the next and not be the person who gets blown up, hit some kind of thing, get blown up, to dreams to destroyed, and then all of a sudden you just go back home and never try again. You can be the person who comes up, goes around, and keeps on going. Now, one last quick thing, just so we can see how this plays out in life. You hear why everyone's life is unique? It's because, let's just say, when you start out in life, you go out, you get your first, once you get on your own, and you work your way through a stage of your life where maybe you get, married, you get a job, and maybe you start having kids, and you do that, but then you move on to another stage, where maybe you get another job, and you're moving up like that, and then your kids are older, and you move to another state, and lots of problems to work out there, but it's more fun. Maybe you move to a resort area, maybe you move to a bigger city, and it's stimulating. And then all of a sudden, another stage of your life, it goes, you and your family get interested in an activity or maybe one of your kids are great in sports. So you get in a thing where now your life revolves around figuring out, be able to get everything done, but then help your kid get done in that. Then they go out, and then let's just say you decide to move again and get another career change, and you're over here. And then maybe you move back over here, but the whole time you're figuring stuff out, you're going out, you're following your natural curiosity and opportunities. You're keeping yourself stimulated. And then, like everything in life, we have setbacks. That's why these are these setback things. And then some of us, with the last economy, like the Great Depression, we go assets back to square one. But on the other thing, we've accumulated all this knowledge, and so maybe now we can get through these kind of things again and move ourselves back on track and get back to where we were headed here before we had the disaster. And you can do it in a much shorter period of time. But at each stage, you're going to have stuff to figure out. But then you look at it and you say, well, what's the pattern of this guy's life or this family's life? They're going all over the place. It's here. And that's why it makes it interesting stories. Everybody's got an interesting story of their life because of the things they've had to go through, the things they've had to figure out, the challenges they're faced, and you accumulate knowledge along the way. And you go through the same thing if you do a business. In a business, you start a business, let's say you have an idea, and go in and you have an idea and you figure out how to make it work, and now you say, well, okay, now I'm going to add some help. And so now I've got a few people, but I've got to figure out how to handle it with a few people, develop my systems, get my facilities in there where I can handle that. But at each stage of growth, you're going to have a bunch of things to figure out. And as long as you can keep the same track, there's always somebody who's at that level already that you can pick their brains on. There's always tools you can use, and you can keep moving up. Now, at any certain point where you either get tired of it, you get bored, or you start to get sloppy, then boom, you get an explosion, and now you're back down here again. You might have to start all over. Or you may never regain your momentum because you just give up trying or whatever. But the way you keep growing in your business is pretty much the same way. To move up, there's a price you got to pay, personal or in business, and that is you're going to have a minefield to go through. You got stuff you got to figure out. But once you figure that out, you can move on to bigger and better things, and you can also help those that are coming behind you. So that's another way of realizing how the minefield and navigating minefields can really allow you to have the biggest impact in your life.